The TDSB Chair is calling on the Minister of Education to put an early childhood educator in every single kindergarten classroom. The Chair says it's worried about the pandemic's impacts on the youngest kids. Advocates agree, saying additional help is needed.
An entire generation of children, their social interactions and their ability to move about in their world has been significantly restricted for 2 years.
TDSB Chair Alexander Brown wrote this letter to Education Minister Stephen Lecce, expressing concerns about the developmental needs of kindergarten students, which reads in part, new students entering junior kindergarten in the 2022-23 school year will have spent the vast majority of their existence living through the COVID-19 pandemic. Early childhood development depends on experience, and particularly social experience, which stimulates, tunes, and hones the brain's unfolding architecture. The letter asks for an early childhood educator in every kindergarten classroom. Currently, it's only required in classrooms with more than 15 students.
In the past, maybe 75% of the children would have been involved in daily daycare or childcare situations or participated regularly in other early childhood programs like early on centers, library programs, places like that. We have an entire cohort of kids coming in who have missed out on those experiences.
Kim Curran, the director with the George Hull Center for Children and Families, says the current group of kindergartners need additional supports because they've missed out on learning social norms due to the lack of interaction with other people in the past couple of years.
Like taking turns, sharing toys, sitting quietly, listening to stories or singing songs in a group, how to be separate from their parents and have some independent skills.
Curran says for the next couple of years, the focus needs to be on the social and emotional development of young kids, which will require a lot of patience and repetition. She says an ECE would be hugely beneficial in each classroom.
The educator, of course, is well aware of child development and social and emotional work, but her focus is education, and the early childhood educator can really zero in on that supportive opportunity, can work in smaller, when there are two people, can work in smaller groups.
We reached out to Minister Lecce's office for a response, and while they didn't answer our exact question, here's what a spokesperson said in part. To support the hiring of roughly 3,000 additional staff, including educators, ECEs, and EAs, the government announced over $300 million for the coming school year. This will enable higher levels of staffing, along with the largest tutoring expansion and mental health funding in Ontario history, to better support students as we work to get them back on track. Curran says some parents have lost their jobs. Others have had to juggle work and childcare during the pandemic. She says she's concerned about the impact of that stress on the social and emotional development of young children as well. For City News, I'm Maleeha Sheikh.